deep in the African savannah, under a sky smeared with oranges and purples. Kondo the hunter crouched low, gripping his bow and arrow. He had been tracking a mighty antelope since sunrise, and his stomach rumbled with hunger. The antelope's hooves kicked up dust as it sprinted through the golden grasslands. But Kondo was determined not to lose it. The chase led Kondo farther than he had ever gone before, through rivers, thorny bushes, and into unfamiliar forests. As the sun began to set, he spotted the antelope darting into a thick grove of trees. Without hesitation, Kondo followed, unaware that he was about to discover something that would change his life forever. As Kondo stumbled out of the dense forest, he found himself standing at the edge of a beautiful, hidden village. Strange but wonderful smells floated from cooking fires, and joyful children ran barefoot in the open fields. The huts were made of mud and straw, and the people wore brightly colored robes, their necks adorned with beaded necklaces. The villagers welcomed Kondo warmly, offering him food and a place to rest. "You must have come from far," said an elderly man named Buono Lembi. "You are our guest now. Stay and eat with us." Kondo smiled, delighted by their kindness. But as he ate the delicious meals they offered, an idea began to form in his mind, a selfish plan. Kondo looked at the happy faces around him and thought, "These people have so much. They won't miss a little extra if I take it." He began to take more than he needed from the food they offered. When the children gave him ripe mangoes, he kept them all to himself. If someone gifted him maize flour, he stored it secretly in his hut. The villagers noticed Kondo's greed but said nothing at first, hoping he would change. But Kondo's hunger for more only grew. He began lying to the villagers, pretending he had lost his hunting tools so that they would give him new ones. Why work hard, Kondo thought, when these fools will give me everything I want? One day, the village held a grand festival to celebrate the harvest. Drummers played lively rhythms, dancers swirled in colorful skirts, and everyone brought their finest foods to share. Kondo saw baskets filled with roasted yams, grilled fish, sweet honey, and other delicious treats. His eyes sparkled with greed as he thought, "All this food could last me for weeks." Kondo secretly took 2 large gourds of honey and hid them in his hut. He also snatched some woven blankets, thinking these will be useful during the cold nights. Little did Kondo know that his actions were not going unnoticed. That night, Buono Lembi gathered with the village elders. "There is a sickness of greed growing in our midst," he said softly. "Kondo's heart is like a bottomless well. No matter how much we give, it is never enough." The elders nodded solemnly. "It is time we teach him a lesson, before his greed spreads like a fire through our village." The next morning, Kondo woke up to find 2 men at his door. They smiled politely. "Greetings, Kondo. The elders have noticed that you enjoy our gifts very much," one of them said. "Today, we wish to give you something even better." Kondo's heart leapt with excitement. "What is it?" he asked eagerly. The 2 men exchanged knowing looks. "Come with us to the forest and you will see," they said. Kondo followed them, licking his lips at the thought of what treasures awaited him. The men led Kondo to a secluded part of the forest where a huge pot sat on the ground, filled with shimmering gold coins. Kondo's eyes widened. "This is yours," the men said. "But there is one condition. You can only take as much as your heart feels is fair." Kondo's hands trembled with excitement as he reached into the pot, grabbing as many coins as he could. But as he filled his hands, a voice echoed through the trees. "Take only what you need, Kondo, or the forest will take it all." Kondo laughed greedily. "What nonsense," he scoffed. He tried to carry more coins, but the pot grew heavier with every handful. Soon, it became impossible to lift. "I will just take a little more," Kondo muttered. But as he grabbed the last handful, the gold began to melt, turning into thick, sticky mud. Suddenly, the trees seemed to whisper and the wind howled through the leaves. The ground shook beneath Kondo's feet, and the mud from the pot spilled everywhere, trapping his feet. Kondo struggled to escape, but the more he fought, the deeper he sank into the sticky mess. The two men watched in silence as Kondo squirmed helplessly. "Greed has blinded you," one of them said softly. "And now, you must leave our village forever." They turned and walked away, leaving Kondo stuck in the mud. The forest grew quiet once again. After hours of struggling, Kondo finally managed to free himself. But when he returned to the village, the gates were closed. The villagers gathered at the entrance, their faces filled with sadness. "You took advantage of our kindness," Buono Lembi said. "This is not a place for the greedy. You must leave," with a heavy heart. Kondo walked away from the village. He wandered through the wilderness, hungry and tired. There were no feasts, no mangoes, and no warm blankets to comfort him. He slept under cold skies and ate bitter roots to survive. As days turned into weeks, Kondo's heart grew heavy with regret. He remembered the warmth of the villagers and the joy in their laughter. "If only I had shared instead of taking so much," he whispered to himself. Kondo began to understand the value of kindness and sharing. He realized that greed only brought loneliness, while generosity created friendships. "I must find a way to make things right," he thought. Kondo gathered what little food he could find and set off toward the village, determined to apologize. He practiced his words along the way. "Please forgive me. I have learned my lesson. I will give back more than I ever took." When Kondo reached the gates of the village, he found Buono Lembi waiting. "Have you truly changed, Kondo?" the elder asked. "Words are easy, but actions speak louder." Kondo nodded. "I am ready to prove it." The elders gave Kondo one task: help build a new hut for the poorest family in the village. If he could complete the task without asking for anything in return, he would be welcomed back. Kondo worked from sunrise to sunset, carrying heavy logs and mixing mud with his bare hands. It was the hardest work he had ever done, but he did not complain. When the hut was finally finished, Kondo offered the family a woven blanket he had made himself. "This is for you," he said humbly. "I hope it keeps you warm during cold nights." The villagers watched Kondo's efforts with admiration. They saw that his heart had truly changed. "You are one of us now," Buono Lembi said with a smile. "Welcome home." The village held another feast, but this time, Kondo sat among the villagers, sharing food and laughter. He felt a warmth in his heart that no amount of gold could ever buy. Kondo learned that life is richer when shared with others. "It is better to give than to take," he told the children. "For when we give, we gain more than we lose." Kondo decided to stay in the village and live as one of them. He hunted only what was needed and shared his catch with everyone. Each night, Kondo sat by the fire, telling stories to the children. His favorite story was about a hunter who lost everything, but found a better life by learning to share. The villagers grew closer than ever, united by the lesson Kondo had learned. Their kindness spread beyond the village, inspiring others in nearby communities. Kondo found peace in his new life. He no longer chased after more than he needed. Instead, he focused on enjoying what he had: a warm meal, good friends, and a place to call home. Contentment is the greatest wealth, he often reminded himself, feeling lighter and happier with each passing day. One day, travelers from distant lands arrived at the village. They had heard stories of the place where people lived in harmony, always sharing and helping one another. The travelers were amazed by the villagers' generosity and the peaceful life they led. When they asked how such unity was possible, the villagers pointed to Kondo. "It was a hunter who taught us that greed destroys, but generosity builds," Buono Lembi said proudly. Kondo felt humbled, realizing how far he had come from the man he once was. As Kondo sat with Buono Lembi by the fire one evening, the elder gave him words of wisdom. "Remember, Kondo, every person has two paths, the path of greed and the path of kindness. It is the choices we make that shape our lives. If we walk with a giving heart, the world will always smile back at us." Kondo listened carefully, feeling the truth in the elder's words settle deep in his heart. He vowed never to return to his old ways, knowing that the joy of giving far outweighed the emptiness of greed. With the passing of time, Kondo became a respected member of the village. He helped newcomers settle in, shared his hunting skills, and made sure no one ever felt left out. Whenever he saw someone struggling, he remembered how it felt to be alone in the wilderness. "We are only as strong as the kindness we show to others," he would say. Kondo's transformation became a story that parents told their children, teaching them the value of generosity. The village flourished, not because of wealth, but because of the love and care its people shared. Years later, when Kondo became an old man with gray hair and tired bones, the village gathered to honor him. They sang songs of his journey, from a greedy hunter to a man with a heart full of kindness. As Kondo sat by the fire surrounded by friends, he spoke his final words of wisdom. "Greed may seem like an easy path, but it leads only to loneliness. The real treasure in life is the friendships we build and the love we give freely. If we all share what we have, there will always be enough for everyone." The villagers applauded, knowing they had witnessed the power of change. And so, the village remained a beacon of unity and kindness, where the story of Kondo the hunter was told for generations to come, a reminder that even the greediest heart can learn to give. Greed isolates, but generosity connects. In today's world, where people often seek more than they need, the story of Kondo teaches us that true happiness lies not in what we take, but in what we give. Sharing not only strengthens communities, but also brings peace and contentment to our hearts.